Hey guys, welcome back to another video on Kiki's Element. So excited because today we're finally gonna get into an aspect on this channel that I haven't touched yet, and that's the fitness side. So the exercises that I'm going to be showing you today are what kind of started my booty growth journey. My whole journey started at home. Doing these exercises is what really helped elevate my growth. That's what gave me my foundation, so that when I finally went to the gym and I put some weights on that barbell, I knew how to activate properly and saw the growth that I needed to see. Listen, booty is not everything. If you
have a small butt, if you have a big butt, if you have a double butt, if you have a loose butt, if you have a firm butt,
it doesn't matter. You are still beautiful. It's just a butt, okay? If you want to enhance your physique, and if something like that makes you feel more voluptuous, sexy, go for it. You have all the power in you to change your body and form it to how you want it to look, naturally. If you don't care about growing your glutes for the look of it, it's also very important to have strong glutes in general. We don't want to have any back issues. We want to be able to walk properly and have the mobility that we have now when we're older. The aesthetic, that's a plus, baby. Let me show you the foundational exercises that really helped increase my booty growth. Join along. Maybe you want to grab a mat while I'm doing these and try them out for yourself. Include them into your routine, and I can promise you, you're gonna see big results. You just got to work your ass instead of sitting on it. Last thing, if you have a booty band, I really recommend using it for these exercises. If not, it's still as effective. Like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps your girl out, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. Let's go. Let's get this rolling. Okay, let's get this going. So I'll be showing you the routine that I would typically do, and I would do about 3 or 4 sets of everything that you're about to see. I had many more exercises that I would throw in and kind of switch my routine around with, but these were the main ones that I could feel the most activation through. Now, the lateral walk is my favorite. If there's anything that you're gonna do before a glute day or before a leg day or in between supersets, it should be this. It's a very simple movement, but we gotta make sure that we do it very right. So you have a leading leg, and that leg is doing the work of the walk. And then you have a following leg, which kind of meets that lead leg. As your following leg is coming to meet your leading leg, you actually want to abduct at the knee of the following leg more than the leading leg. You'll notice throughout the whole video that I'm touching my booty when I'm doing exercises, and this makes that mind to body connection just so we can get extra activation going. Next, we have a crazy lunge combo, and we're going to start with just a regular lunge to glute kickback. And what I want you to take away with this is keeping the shin vertical. Even in a lunge or any other exercise, try to keep your shins more vertical, and you are bound to activate the glutes way more. On these kickbacks, you really got to find your balance and squeeze as much as you can on each one. Next, we have a lunge foldover, which is just an iso lunge, but you're just going to be folding over that front leg. You most definitely do not want to rush through this, and you really want to feel into the stretch that you'll feel of that front leg's booty cheek. I come up, I'm actually squeezing my glutes. Now, in this lunge position, squeezing your glutes is a very hard thing to do, but as long as you are actually attempting to do it, it's happening. The activation is going on. So every time that I come up, I squeeze and I hold that for a second before I go back down. Next is something definitely far from the standard glute exercise, but I thought I would throw this in here because this is actually what I started with at home because I only had 2 dumbbells. I was doing a whole lot of calf raises, and I realized how much my glutes were firing just from that. So I play around with the tempo of it, but squeezing the entire time will get those glutes on fire. So now we're moving into what I call my glute floor circuit. So everything is done on the floor. We're starting off with glute bridges, and as you notice, I have a rolled up yoga mat under my toes, and that's just to make sure that only my heels are pushing through the floor. I'm using my hands to actually remind myself to only use my abdomen to push down and then my glutes to push up. And then from the glute bridge, I like to do little abductions, I like to do little holds, pulses, just playing out with different variations, and then making sure on each one I'm going to a burnout. No rep count, just burn out. After we work the double leg glute bridge, then we gotta move on to the single. Again, I'm having the mat under my toes just so I'm using my heel, and I'm pushing again down that abdomen to make sure I'm closing that gap in between the floor and my lower back. And as I'm coming up in the single leg glute bridge, I'm actually squeezing my knee in towards my chest. With the booty band on, this is giving some extra work. I do most of these exercises till burnout, which is also known as till failure. So literally until I cannot anymore. After the floor glute bridges, we're going to move on to elevated hip thrusts or tabletop hip thrusts. And in doing this, you want to also remember to push mostly through the heels. So at some point, I'm going to go off of my toes and just remind myself to mostly just push through the heels just so I can activate the right muscles that I'm trying to hit. Something else to keep in mind is to only use the squeezing motion of your glutes to get yourself up there. That's how we're going to ensure that it's only the glutes being used. You'll see me playing around with the abductions, with the pulses, with the holds. That is so key when it comes to shocking your muscles so that you can get more growth. Next is one of my fave combos, so we'll start here with the kneeling squat. Something you will notice is that I do not go down all the way and I don't go up all of the way. When we are not using any weight load, it's good to completely and constantly hold tension, so not releasing it. You don't have to squeeze your butt all the time. Just holding that tension and letting those muscles fire away will give you a crazy burn and activation. I like to combo these kneeling squats with kneeling good mornings, which is just a more folding over type of movement. And again, I'm not going down all the way. I am squeezing at the top a little bit, and I'm making sure that I'm feeling into each muscle. These definitely hit that part right below the lower back, kind of in that separation of the butt and the lower back to give us that little shelf booty, if you guys know what I mean. So next, what we're going to move on to is you'll notice there's going to be 5 exercises where I'm on all fours for the entire time. What I like to do is I like to hit all 5 exercises all on one side before I hit the other, just so I can make sure I am burning out each butt cheek separately. So here we have the donkey kicks with a little pause and hold. This pause makes all of the difference. Make sure you squeeze and make sure that your toes are curled under your foot on that opposite leg. Number 2 is what I call a high donkey to fire hydrant. So staying in this very high position of a high donkey, you're going right to the side into that fire hydrant without lowering your knee too much. Without releasing the knee, you're actually holding so much tension that the burn is gonna hit you a little too crazy. You might hate me once you try this. And I will mention again that I do all of these exercises till burnout. And if you're not sure when burnout is for yourself, then do it until you feel a burn and then add at least 10 reps. Next is the rainbow leg extensions, just going from side to side over that leg that's on the floor. And you want to make sure you're getting as much reach onto each side as possible and as much range upwards. You want to get a vertical as much as you can, okay? You're gonna get tired, you're gonna get fatigued, but you gotta keep pushing through. Squeeze on every movement here. Next, we have an exercise that's actually going to target a muscle in the glute that we don't hit too often, and that's the medius. Working on this muscle really enhances the appearance of the glutes by making it look rounder and fuller. The movement is pretty simple, but once the burn taps in, it becomes the most complicated exercise. All you do is you lift your leg into a fire hydrant and then you extend it. On that extension, you want to make sure that you are kicking out as much as you can and squeezing. This is the last exercise that I do of the 5 all on one side before I move on to the other side, and it's high leg extensions. And again, I'm not releasing, I'm keeping the tension. So when you squeeze, you don't want to release. You want to squeeze onto the squeeze that you already have. You just want to pulse it out till burnout, and then you want to move onto the other side starting at number 1. And then to finish off an amazing glute circuit, we're just doing these deep squat hip abductions, and I'm just on my toes here and I'm making sure that I'm getting as much range in those knees as possible. You really want to spread them knees, girl, and if you can, play around with the holds, play around with pulses. Doing those little things are key. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope that these tips help you in your booty growth journey, your booty toning journey, whatever you want for your own booty. I hope that this helps you in knowing how to activate it properly so that you can see the results that you're working so hard towards. And once you really get to learn these exercises and know what your booty feels like when it's activated, when it's not, and how to tap into that muscle group, then when you put a weight load on and do different exercises, then you'll be able to really put yourself in the path of success. Much love, wholeness, and balance to you all.